Last time in my Minecraft world, I made the Light Dragon from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This massive structure was just the start of my season-long project that I have been dying to tell you guys all about. And guess what? I'm going to do that today. And I'm going to introduce it with a massive new build that, believe it or not, took me over 32 hours just to place all the blocks. I am Joshgetslost. Welcome back, and let's have some fun together. The next wave of our project began, like any Minecraft project, with cutting trees and clearing land, because I'm going to need a lot of space in order to make this build feasible. And I'm going to stop beating around the bush now just to tell you guys what's up. This season, my project is creating a massive two-player Zelda dungeon in Minecraft. Growing up as a kid, my gaming experience has always been heavily defined by the Legend of Zelda series. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was one of those first games as a kid that I really just threw myself into and finished and explored and played multiple times over to enjoy on my Nintendo 64. And the storytelling in that really influenced how I thought about the world and games and fantasy, and just really enjoyed. And so I want to create something like that in Minecraft. And what I have planned is to do it in a unique way, because yes, it's one thing to build a dungeon in Minecraft, but I also want to take something that I think is always at the core of what I call, SMP Minecraft, playing on a server like this, where you have other people involved. That's the whole reason to be on an SMP. And so I want to create a two-player dungeon that will provide a source of entertainment, perhaps for certain content creators that are around this community. This can be a way to film content and play through a game and just enjoy the creativity and some of the lore that I'm going to be expanding behind the Zelda world in this dungeon that I'm building. And I'm going to take it kind of easy. Today, we're going to work on the entrance. We're going to be developing that in the months ahead. And then we're going to start on kind of the four key components. So one of the ways I'm going to be working on the dungeon as I fly around here and just give you guys a look at the dragon. I want to show you guys a few things that. So since the last time I made this, I added a nice little drop in using a little bit of storage in here. Bat, my wife's sister, gives me a lot of trouble about all the shulker monsters I leave behind. I did make a map of our dragon before anything else gets built. So check that out. Took 8 maps, I think, to actually get all the length, because it sort of crossed over the boundary. Could have done it in 4, I guess, if it was in the middle of a map area. But yeah, that's kind of what I've done. Oh, I also added a little water elevator to get out of here to make it a little easier. But let me go back to talking about the dungeon, because that's what I want to tell you guys about. So today we are going to be working on the entrance, which is going to be massive. Unnecessarily so, but I think it's going to look really cool with what I've spent several weeks actually designing in Minecraft in order to even just bring this into the survival world. But as you saw below, I had a little bit of help from my wife, Mom of Cat, and Bat, her sister, to help place grass and build out this platform. And what I'm kind of envisioning here, and what you'll see being played out as I build more and more of this, is people will enter from that area. They'll come around here on this old worn out path, and they will approach something that invites them in to the game and the world of Zelda right here in this Minecraft world. And so I'm really excited to see that. But believe it or not, I am not done terraforming yet. So we got a little more to build. Yes, that is the remnants of an old Triforce logo worn out in the ground in front of the structure that we're going to be putting in here. So one of the key features of this build is this sort of sense of magic, and you're going to see elements of this come in. I wanted this build and this temple to not just introduce people to the world as if this is a normal part of the Minecraft server, but it to be just something totally otherworldly as people approach, that would really give them a sense of kind of like awe and just really kind of immerse them in the world of the game that I'm going to be creating. I do plan on, for some of our people who might be playing the game once I finish it, whenever that might be, to have a different entrance that's accessible to just get back into the game a little faster. But one of the things I definitely want to do is for the people's first time coming and experiencing this and seeing the lore behind the story that's going to be behind this world and this game, I wanted people to have a really grand entrance. And so that's what we're going to be working on. Even though most people never even see this part I'm working on here underneath the terraforming, I want all of it to just be really cool if people wander a bit and explore and see it from different angles. As I was saying before, this game is going to be really about 4 parts. And so you can see here I'm using this purple stained glass to kind of create a little bit of a shadow fog effect here. And we're going to be doing this a few different times on this build in different layers up throughout the boulders that I've built above. This build, this dungeon is going to have 4 key spots, and they're going to kind of be based on elemental forces. I already have a Google Doc with probably 15-20 pages of notes and plans and ideas for the layouts of them, for puzzles that could go into them, for how to keep each section of the dungeon distinct. So in essence, it's going to be like 4 mini dungeons that all coalesce into one main dungeon. And if I ever get that far, I also have a boss fight planned, believe it or not. I still don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I've got some really cool ideas. The 4 dungeon parts are going to be based off the elements. So water will be one. Yes, there will be sort of a water temple. Sorry to all those who still have PTSD from the Ocarina of Time water temple. It won't be that bad. It's going to be a lot of fun. The air element I'm going to be doing, especially now we have the breezes and breeze rods, is going to be a lot of fun, I believe. Fire, of course, because Minecraft has lots of fire and lava things. And then one that's related to time and light, which will be really fun to work with. And there, my friends, are the boulders I was alluding to earlier. Having planned this out in creative first, I was already thinking of them. And what I'm going to here is just coming alongside this little wall section here and just kind of replacing some of the things with different mossy cobblestone walls and mossy stone brick walls in order just to kind of give a little bit of wear and tear on this wall so it doesn't look completely pristine as we work through this. So each of those 4 dungeon elements is going to be something I work on. And the cool thing is, because I'm doing them all sort of independently, in fact, people could actually play in my planning. People would actually be able to play them at the same time if they wanted in different parts, because each dungeon will be independent, but they'll have kind of a central hub that they all work off of. And in order to beat the story and get to the boss, the big bad, you will have to do all 4, and there's going to be a way that we're able to track that. So with all that in mind, that's my project, and it may take longer than a season. Thankfully, the creators of this server have been very good about if there's something really special that someone's working on, that being able to carry it over to a new season if necessary. Even if I would have to start and get some new equipment, things like that in the process, that might happen. But my goal is to try, to at least have certain finished things. And as a different dungeon gets finished, I'll be able to play test it, but also have other people come play test it and learn a lot of things. And so hopefully each dungeon that I build will get progressively better. And I'm excited. I've got plans. Our server currently is still in 121.4, I believe. And so there's some elements with the creaking that I'm planning to use in the Pale Garden area for the light temple, the light portion of the dungeon. And I think it'll be really cool. The happy gas, I think, for platforming are going to play a big role in a certain area that I've sort of got planned. And so I'm excited to add those elements in, and who knows what else may come in. Even for this build, as I was working on it the last month or so, Minecraft announced all this copper stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's a perfect place that I would be able to use some of the copper stuff. I may have to go back and add it in later if our server updates. And so I'm really excited about all of this. Hopefully you can tell by my voice and by my energy, just even as I'm placing these blocks and trying to just get, a little bit of a sense of wear and lived inness to this part of the world, this part of the build that I'm excited. I'm really pumped. And so when you think about two-player, that's something I probably should talk about a little bit. I've been heavily influenced, of course, playing two-player games from, very early childhood, but especially recent games, playing through things like Lego games with my kids over the years. But also my wife and I this past spring played through It Takes Two together. And that was a huge just influence on thinking about how two players could work together to solve puzzles, and just really opens up a lot of things in Minecraft that would require a lot of resetting and other things like that with redstone that you wouldn't necessarily need if you were using a two-player system in order to make happen. And so I'm really excited for how that's going to flesh out. Okay, I am down here in the mines. And by the mines, I mean the trial chamber that's near my base on the other server on the other side of our little multiverse that we've got set up. And I need a lot of tough for this build. And so specifically, I need a lot of tough brick. And this is a great spot to get tough brick if you ever need it. I'm actually here at the kind of the lowest level of the trial chamber and just working my way through mining it and getting all the tough brick that I need. And if you ever need copper or brick, hey, free mine right here. I mean, there's just so much of this. I'm going to end up filling up several shulkers of this in order to make this build happen. And when I'm finally done getting all the tough that I need, as well as some of the other resources, I'm going to start building. So let's cue up some build footage. And there it is. This, if you haven't guessed, is the Temple of Time. For those who may be architecture aficionados, you may have noticed that this bears a striking resemblance, of course, to probably a lot of different Gothic architecture, but specifically, probably one of the most famous examples of Gothic architecture in the world, the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris. Now, obviously, Notre Dame's doing a lot better. My wife and I were actually just over there a few months ago. I had the chance to go to Europe for work and was able to go visit Notre Dame and see the beautiful restoration of it. And as you can tell, there's something happening with this build. This purple magic line is marking some kind of cutoff. And so what you have over here is a very pristine section that's marked with beautiful stained glass and walls, and everything really matches. There's not a lot of wear and tear on it. And then over in this other section, you've got giant gaping holes. You've got, things out of the floor. And here, of course, I've got an idea for how to make the Triforce here, but I need the debris from the leaves to work on some of the shaping of it. And we don't have that yet in our server. So one day I'll add that in. Of course, we have the goddess Hylia statue here waiting for some candles and things like that that I need to add in later. This area, I've of course used banners to kind of create a little organ looking thing. I'm going to develop this more and add more details to it after today, but I have planned some redstone because remember, this is the entrance to the dungeon. And so of course, being a Zelda thing, there will be some sort of puzzle element, and specifically with the organ, I'm thinking something musically related that will happen there. Of course, there's stained glass. What maybe used to be the Triforce up there is now in pieces. Of course, what would Gothic architecture be without the flying buttresses? Of course, these were architectural elements that were created for these massive stone, really tall buildings to basically support the building and keep it from crumbling and falling down. And so they use these arches on the outside to give it that. And so we've created those here in Minecraft as well. And then hopefully we'll add over here some gardens and other things like that in the future. There's the stained glass. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys a little bit more of the details later. Of course, working on all of this with the dragon flying up there in the background has been amazing. Definitely start off your build with the giant build in the sky that you can look at all the time whenever you want. Of course, here we've got a massive intact bell tower. Let's actually climb up it. Hopefully, I still got to work on the lighting, but because the build's not finished yet, I don't want to start lighting everything yet because it may interfere with some elements that are going to be in here still to come in this video. Ooh, I'm getting hungry and tired just climbing up these stairs. And up here, we've got a platform really high up. We got these kind of open shutters where the bell sounds can get out, and you can, pull the rope to ring the bell. Of course, I used a little bamboo trap doors to kind of mimic a golden, bell ringer thingy. I know there's a word for it. I don't remember what it's. Hammer? Is it a hammer? If you know in the comments, tell me what the name of the thing is inside the bell that hits the bell when you ring it, makes it go dingy, dingy, dingy. I might add some redstone up there. Maybe it would, sound a bell sound every hour. I use this light gray stained glass all around this part to, of course, here you can kind of see the bell through the sides, but sort of have it hidden from the other view. I really liked how that turned out. But yeah, this is, heavily influenced by the Cathedral of Notre Dame in shape. Of course, this isn't, as lightly colored. This is very gray stone brick, which I think is more fitting for the Zelda world than the more tan colored stones of Notre Dame. And so imagine you're coming in here, and now you see the massive entrance to the dungeon that you're going to be going in and visiting from the outside. One other thing I have to point out, you saw this in the recap. In order to mimic the sort of lines and the actual shapes and curves of the roof of Notre Dame, I use glow lichen to create these crisscross patterns. And so if you go look up online a picture of the roof of Notre Dame, this is kind of what we've been able to do. That was, I wish I had a happy gas to fly around on. That would have been a lot easier, but I got it done with some dirt scaffolding and things like that. The two stained glass on each side both have a reference to The Legend of Zelda, but maybe you'll come and visit here in person someday and get to see those. You can't always tell them because sometimes it's just too bright outside in order to really see the stained glass properly. Oh, and did I mention that I'm not done with this build yet? Let's get back to work. So as you can see, I have to fly over the wall, so to speak. Now, there's where I got a bunch of dirt and stuff for the terraforming. I just kind of went over there and mined it out. This is our magical temple of time. You can see that the reason why some of the building is aged and some of it is still pristine. This is not an active nether portal, but I lit it just for looks. The reason why some of it is so pristine is because you are actually, when you go through the entrance, are traveling through time. There, of course, you can see the ruined parts. I do have plans. There's going to be armor stands with soldier statues above the door frames, but they didn't copy over in the schematic, and I almost forgot about them. And so those are going in, although that's one of the areas where, man, the copper armor would be great to show, like maybe there's some gold statues that turned rusty into copper or iron that does that. It sounds like it would be pretty cool to do that. Good luck climbing that one. Maybe it'll be a parkour challenge. So you come in here, you walk in the dungeon. The floors are messed up, the pillars are missing. This area is just been worn down by time. Even the doors are broken off. We've got up there some precious ores that were once part of the structure, but are now some of them have been looted possibly over time. And yeah, this side of the entrance of the Temple of Time is just a wreck. But as you enter through the magical veil, I'm thinking of adding some ender chests underneath the carpet so that it kind of gives a little bit of that glowy fill even as you come through that little doorway. As you come into here, everything is pristine. It's as it once was long ago. And this time travel enables you to access the story and the world that you will need to beat. And of course, if you noticed, the light dragon is behind the Veil of Magic. There's Link and Zelda, respectively. You can see Zelda, kind of a blonde hair, blue shirt, in a sort of a praying motion. You got Link over here who is holding a blue sword and is ready to fight. Does look really cool at night, although it's not 100% lit, and with those holes in the decayed section, it's a little dangerous in here. And I don't have any beds in. So yeah, this is the Temple of Time and the magical veil that's around it. And so the lore of this will be that in order to prevent something bad from happening, they will have to travel. The players will have to travel through the temple into this time from long ago and enter this dungeon, which exists only through beyond the veil of time and magic. And that's kind of the basic of the lore. There will be some other stuff I add in. Really, after this is going to be a part with a story where we're able to tell the story, perhaps using armor stands and some other things like that in an area before sending them to the main kind of hub of the dungeon area where you can access each of the 4 dungeons, and eventually, maybe with a boss key, eventually you could access the... I thought I heard something up there. Eventually you could access... I'm getting spooked out in my own build. Eventually you could access the boss room, whenever that gets done. So I am super excited about this. I love the way the magic turned out. It took a lot of work to place all the glass. I actually ended up using Easy Place for the first time, which is a Lightmatica feature that, as long as you have the blocks in your inventory, will allow you to put them in the correct spot according to your schematic. Mostly that was just because the colors are so similar that it was very hard to correctly place them. And so you can see, though, I still built it. I didn't just go and paint a wall of stuff up. What I did was I went bottom to top, layer by layer, placing all the blocks, even with that on. Probably the only time I'll use it with the glass, just because glass panes are so tricky to place down. Yep, here we are in our magical Temple of Time. Of course, we still have some work to do around here. This tree is actually an original tree from this area that I love leaving, those tall oak trees. And I want to make sure also people can't just, go off of the beaten path. But I do want to fill out this other side of the courtyard area with some maybe pools or a custom tree. There's definitely room for it over here. Maybe some gardens in the backside where the Veil of Time is blocking them. But if you guys have ideas for what I could do, or even ideas for elements that could go into a 2-player Minecraft game, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This has been a lot of work, but I am super pumped for how it has turned out. Hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Once again, I am Joshgetslost. If you're not following, make sure to subscribe, and hopefully we can continue to build awesome things like this all together. And I am out of rockets because I was going to do a cool flyaway, and now I'm good to go. Can I switch perspective correctly? Let's see. Oh, there it is. That is a lot of glass. A lot of glass panes all over. But man, doesn't it look cool? Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all later.